Campus of the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana. The Illinois High School Association presents the first of 4 boys Class A quarterfinal games, and the opening game will pit the Indians of Dakota against the Pilots of Cairo High School. Hello again, everyone. I'm Joe Passion. Welcome back to the Assembly Hall as we get ready for a full day of high school basketball at its best on the boys Class A level. A team and a tournament that has lots of parity, and it starts off with this first game that we'll see here. Let's talk a little bit about the teams that you'll see here first today. The Dakota Indians against the Pilots of Cairo will start things out here in a few moments, and then game 2 will follow. Chicago Hales Franciscan against the Pioneers of Normal UI. And then tonight, the evening session begins at 6:30 with Riverton against Staunton, and then Hamilton against Mendota. So a full line, and of course the teams who win here will advance on to the semifinals on Saturday. Now let's meet the two teams that will play in this first game. And Dakota is a team that has come from the very northern part of the state of Illinois. In fact, they're just a few miles south of the Wisconsin border. Located in extreme northern Illinois, outside of Rockford and Freeport, this small farming community is going crazy for its Indians. Dakota, founded in 1857, derives its name from the original Indian tribes native to this area. The school district is composed of Dakota, Davis, Rock City, and Rock Grove, as well as 2 housing developments, Lancaster Heights and Lake Somerset. A little facts about the Indians of Dakota, 27-3, coming in under their coach, who's a real fiery guy. And you'll see this ball club come up and down the court, and they do it with a great amount of tenacity, which is, of course, one of the reasons why they're here. Now, they will take on the Pilots of Cairo High School from the very southern tip of the state of Illinois. It's interesting that the two teams that are most far away from each other will start things off here in the quarterfinals Class A. Let's take a look now at Cairo, Illinois. The southernmost city in Illinois, Cairo, was founded in 1846 at a point where the Ohio and Mississippi rivers converge. The old Civil War town was important because of its great access to rail and riverboat traffic. In 1968, Cairo Sumner High School merged with Cairo High to form today's Crescent School. The Pilots' rich basketball tradition has averaged over 20 wins a year the past 2 decades. Bill Chumbler's Pilots of Cairo High School come in at 24-7 on the year. From the very southern part, they're an independent, and so they've played some very tough teams to get here. And we will have that opening tip-off and more of our preview of our first Class A quarterfinal game coming up in just a moment from Assembly Hall. Country Companies Insurance is one of our network sponsors of the high school basketball finals. When it matters most, the country's behind you. We're also brought to you by Milk and the people who produce milk, the dairy farmers of Wisconsin and Illinois. By Zenith, the quality goes in before the name goes on. CarX Muffler and Brake, for mufflers, brakes, and shocks. Don't worry, call the CarX man. And by Toyota, I love what you do for me, Toyota. Opening opponents here of the Class A quarterfinals. Let's send it over to center court, where Greg Sterick and Jim Albrecht are standing by.
Thanks a lot, Joe. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a great day of high school basketball here in Class A. It's Dakota against Cairo. How did Dakota get here? Well, just last Tuesday night, they beat a very tough Kewanee club at East Moline. And before that, in the sectionals, of course, they made their way with a win in the sectionals and in the regionals as the road to state led them to Champaign, with Port Byron of Riverdale falling along with Leno Winslow's in the regional and sectional championship games. Now, as far as Coach Mike Shallow is concerned, he's got to be concerned about the height of Cairo, but he says his kids inside can handle the challenge here this afternoon at Assembly Hall.
Well, I think that probably this is one of the best big players that we will be facing and have faced all season in Nesby, and we've seen a number of big players during the course of the season, but from what I understand, he is one of the premier big men, and it's going to be a tough challenge for us. We have some size that we can counter with. I think that we've shown during the course of the season that we can play both the up-tempo and run with some teams, and also we played a half-court game, so it'll be interesting to see how things unfold today.
Two of the big reasons Dakota here, a guy from the outside and a banger named Binger.
Well, Binger's on the inside. Chad Binger, he's their leading rebounder. They go to him to get some inside scoring punch, but from the outside, they've got a deadly shooter in Ryan Pearson. He's their leading scorer. He also is deadly from three-point range. He's knocked down 88 threes on the year.
Let's take a look at that road to state for Cairo. Cairo, of course, almost got here last year. Now they are here in that super sectional. Big win over Oakville by 4. Then they took care of a tough McLeansboro club in the sectional. As far as the coach of Cairo is concerned, Mr. Chumler thought he was going to be here last year, lost a heartbreaker in the super sectional event. He can't forget it, but he's glad he's here.
It's helped me out quite a bit, but the team, those 8 seniors, I kind of feel sorry for them that they didn't get the opportunity to get here. We were really disappointed and felt like we might have had a chance to get here last year, and this year we really didn't expect to go like we are, and I'm just pleased to be here. I know that.
You know, Greg, in the city of Cairo, they don't have a lot of tall buildings, but they're tall in Champaign today.
Well, they've got the Twin Towers. They brought them to Champaign. Speaking of Tyrone Nesby and also Simeon Williams, Tyrone Nesby, an all-state performer, one of the top players in the state of Illinois, their leading scorer. And when you talk about Simeon Williams, he's really picked up his scoring of late, and he really works the offensive glass really hard.
We'll return following these local messages.
Boldly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A very interesting background on our soloist from Nashville High School today, Ty Burcham, who just finished up a very beautiful national anthem. He was in the men's room a little while ago warming up, and even then he sounded real good. Out here in the arena, he sounded great, as this game is expected to be. Now let's send it over to half court, where Greg Sterick and Jim Albrecht are standing by to bring you the play-by-play.
Thank you very much, Joe. Greg Sterick, it's always interesting to see how these kids react. Now let's go to the public address announcer, Steve Adams, and take a look at the starting lineups and the entire rosters of these teams.
And the Pilots of Cairo, who enter this game with a record of 24-7. First, let's meet the non-starters from Dakota High School. Number 11, a 5'11 junior, Rob Parkinson. Number 12, a 5'10 junior, Steve Hienefeld. Number 20, a 5'9 sophomore, Rich Hoffmaster. Number 24, a 6'3 junior, Dan Geed. Number 31, a 6-foot junior, Jeremy Casper. Number 33, a 6'2 senior, Joe Shoemaker. And number 34, a 6'1" senior, Chad Weber. And now, here are the non-starters from Cairo High School. Number 11, a 5'6" freshman, Michael Box. Number 13, a 5'11" junior, Courtney Wiggins. Number 20, a 5'10" junior, Marcus Davis. Number 22, a 5'9" junior, Larry Johnson. Number 25, a 6-foot freshman, Jamail Avery. Number 30, a 5'10" senior, Joe Holder. Number 35, a 6'1" junior, Andre Williams. Number 40, a 6-foot senior, Terrace Purchase. Number 54, a 6-foot junior, James Merriweather. And now, introducing the starting lineups. At forward for Dakota, a 6-foot senior, number 22, Britton Kaufman. At forward for Cairo, a 5'11" sophomore, number 45, Michael Hughes. At the other forward for the Indians, a 6'4" senior, number 40, Chad Binger. And at the other forward for the Pilots, a 6'7" junior, 33, Tyrone Nesby. At center for Dakota, 6'6" junior, number 42, Mike Panoski. At center for Cairo, a 6'7" senior, number 50, Simeon Williams. At one of the guards for the Indians, a 6'1" senior, 21, Mark Feeney. At guard for the Pilots, a 5'10" senior, number 10, Chucky Cohen. At the other guard for Dakota, a 6-foot senior, number 23, Ryan Pearson. And at the other guard for Cairo, a 5'10" senior, number 15, Glenn Box. And now let's meet the coaches from Dakota. Assistant coaches Gary Hienefeld, Brian Rocky, and Joel Toki. And the head coach in his 4th season, Michael Shallow. And introducing the coaches from Cairo, assistant coaches Al Farmer, Danny Brown, and Harry Williams. And the head coach in his 20th season is Bill Chumbler.
I'll throw it to you.
Introducing the officials for this.
You were ready for it. Just real quick. Time for the CarX Factors of the Game, brought to you by CarX Muffler and Brake. For mufflers, brakes, and shocks, don't worry, call the CarX man. Greg, Dakota's got to hit it from the outside first of all.
Yeah, the threes must fall for Dakota. They're a good shooting basketball team from three-point range. They shoot it at 39%. Rebounding, they've really got to go to the defensive boards hard because the strength of Cairo is their offensive rebounds. And for Cairo, they want an up-tempo basketball game. Dakota, naturally, they want to play it on the half court a little bit more.
One of your network sponsors is Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota. Welcome back to Assembly Hall. Cairo and Dakota. Here's how they match up before the tip-off.
You look at the Kaufman, Binger, and then down through there, Hughes and Nesby. That's the real key matchups. Up at the top, the center position, Simeon Williams. He's a threat for Cairo. And in the backcourt, Feeney, Pearson, Cohen, and Glenn Box.
And the tip will be controlled by the Indians of Dakota. We'll set that lineup for you. 22 is Kaufman. Out front with the basketball is Mark Feeney. They can be very patient with this offense. They're used to playing half court. That is Chad Binger inside, shut down, forces one up, but he couldn't get over Williams.
That was a tough shot. Cairo opens up in a 1-2-2 zone. Really like to push the ball up the floor quick. They look for Williams and also Nesby.
And there is the aforementioned Nesby with the first two of this quarterfinal tournament. Tyrone Nesby comes in averaging 20 points a game. He is a bona fide All-Stater, only a junior.
Good look there at the team comparisons. The edge to Cairo, field goals, 3-point field goals, Dakota, free throws, Dakota, rebounding Dakota, and Cairo rebounding size and quickness.
From that first trip down, I can see that Mr. Pearson for Dakota will have to be a factor in this game if the Indians are to survive, because he needs to hit from the outside. Stolen away up front by Charles Cohen. Cohen all the way down, got it. Chucky Cohen.
Nice steal by Cohen. Defense creates some instant offense for Cairo. And Cairo is pressing with a 1-2-1-1 press, but they really look to pressure the basketball.
Again, a tip pass. Out front it is Kaufman. Need it. Got it. 3 points.
It's a team that's put up 369 threes on the year. They're 142 of 369.
Yeah, Kaufman had 44 from beyond the arc coming in, make it 45. Now that's a big bucket because they don't score that trip down. They could be down 6-0, and the doubt might start setting in early. Nesby lost it out of bounds.
Dakota plays a lot of man-to-man defense, but they open the ball game up in a 2-3 zone, and immediately they sense a problem inside.
Brian Pearson, the three-point maker in this tournament, is fouled up front by Chucky Cohen. As you can see, Dakota ranked number 11 in the final regular season poll. First time in the Elite Eight since 1978. You know that town's going nuts. And of course, the smallest school here with 249 students. Kaufman driving. He'll force it off the glass. Get it blocked by Williams. And with it on the floor is Panowski, and now it's loose again. Well, Binger finally gathers it in. Pearson's first three of the game missed everything. Out of bounds will come the other way with the Pilots.
Cairo's so strong and so physical on the inside. They've got the size advantage, and I think Dakota needs to show a little more patience on that offensive end. Maybe move it 3 or 4 times around the perimeter and try and spring up Pearson with a good shot from the outside. That was a tough shot he just put up. Here comes the press of Dakota.
Break it nicely up to Hughes. Outside is Cohen. Tipped up and in by Michael Hughes.
Now an offensive rebound. And see, Dakota's got to limit Cairo's second chance opportunities. That was an easy basket inside. A good offensive rebound by Hughes.
Oh, that's a dangerous place to put it, and Pearson has it taken away. The other way, it is Box looking inside to Hughes. Michael Hughes with 2 in a row, and it's 8-3 Cairo. If you're Dakota, you really have to be patient against this press. Pearson the last time forced the issue. Nice pass down low to Panowski. He'll be fouled. He's going to the line. Tyrone Nesby with his first of the contest.
Once Dakota is able to beat the first couple guys on the press, then they can kick it down low. And there's Panowski really going to work inside. Gave a little ball fake, a pump fake. Nesby bought it. Panowski's going to go to the line to shoot free throws.
And Panowski was not a starter for Coach Michael Shallow, who you see there at the beginning of the year, but Dan Geed, who was the 6th man on this team, went down with a stress fracture in his foot. Missed some ball games. Panowski came in, gained some confidence. He got so good that Geed is now staying on the bench, but we'll see plenty of him later.
Dakota's a good shooting basketball team. From the perimeter, also at the line, they shoot right at 67% from the stripe on the year.
And against Kiwani in the super sectional, I think they missed about 3 free throws all night. They were sensational from the stripe. And Greg, we don't have to tell anybody at home how important those things are from 15 feet away. That's why they call them free. Ooh, Nesby spins, 360. Nice pass down to Hughes, who missed it. Rebound is fought for and gotten out of there by Panowski.
Well, great look by Nesby. And a little shake fake move and nice dump pass down low, and they just couldn't finish.
Mark Feeney throws it away. A little too high for Pearson.
And we have official.
We've got a timeout on the floor. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance. And welcome back to Assembly Hall. Cairo leading Dakota 8-5, as you can see there. We're just underway. The early jitters should be leaving the premises any moment now. Cairo's used to being ranked, of course. They've been in the top 10 most of the season. And McLeansboro was a heck of a ball club, Greg Sterick, and they fell to this team, so you know they can play some basketball. Nesby pulls up 14-footer, too much. Williams on the back. Williams on the back of Binger. So that's one foul on each of the 6-7 men for Coach Bill Chumbley.
Yeah, nice box out that time by Binger, and it was Williams over the back. And Cairo's inside game has been pretty effective early, Jim. They've scored 6 of their 8 points on the inside.
The pass let out there for Ryan Pearson, who goes after it. Baseline, they almost lost it there. Binger's wide open. He loves that shot. Can't get it to roll. Look how high Nesby got. Fast break all the way ahead to Hughes. Broken up nicely there by a hustling Feeney. Cairo will have to set it up, or will they just give it to Williams? They do, but no result. Not the one they wanted. Wide open shot when you're that tall and those arms. I mean, you can make yourself wide open even though there's 2 men around you.
Yeah, that was a good shot right there. The shot just didn't fall. It was good ball movement. Hughes and also Cohen a good look inside to spot Williams. It's a zone defense by Cairo. Shot on the baseline.
Pearson. Yeah.
If you're Cairo, you got to find the shooters. Pearson, a good shooter from 3-point range.
Long jumper out front by Glenn Box. He gets 2 of those right back, but we've got a game as Cairo leads it by 2. Kaufman quickly. They break the press nicely. Feeney away. 3-pointer Kaufman. Too much. Out front is Pearson. Wide open Binger. He should get that one. He does. And we're tied at 10s. Well, Dakota is not intimidated by the height of Cairo, are they?
No, they sure aren't. Binger, a nice touch from the outside. And Dakota's gotten right back in the ball game. See how easy Cairo goes inside. Great play by Nesby. Great play by Nesby inside.
What a shot by Nesby. He spun, went to the left hand, arced it down, and he'll go to the free throw line with his team up by 2.
Great work by Nesby inside. Good ball move, throws up that left paw. Good look inside by Cohen. A little spin move, drop step, uses the left hand very effectively, and count the basket for Nesby. And Nesby is going to go to the line to try and complete the 3-point play.
And that was not bad defense, folks. There were 2 Dakota Indians there, but they just could not stop the All-Stater as he makes the 3-point play the unconventional way. This pass hit the rim. Look out, Nesby alone. Yeah. That was unfortunate for Dakota because the ball hit the rim as they were trying to get it up court. Went right into the hands of Cairo, and now suddenly they have a 5-point lead. 5 quick ones by Mr. Nesby. I mean, quick. Good time now for Dakota just to take their time.
They need to exercise a little patience on the offensive end. Try get a good shot.
Pearson for 3. Count.
I don't think Pearson's ever seen a bad shot. Oh, nice stroke by the left hand.
And a steal coming up front by Pearson. Ball got away from Cairo, and suddenly Dakota, with another one of those beyond the arcers, can have their first lead of the game. Yeah, Pearson is not one to meddle around when it comes to eyeing the shot, and now a foul on Williams. That is number 2 on Simeon Williams, the transfer from Meridian, who really made this team. He helped to blend it.
Well, it takes a little pressure off of Nesby on the inside. Carroll's still sitting back in that zone defense, and Dakota 3 of 5 from 3-point territory, so maybe a change on the defensive end shortly by Bill Chumler and Carroll.
Wide open is Binger. Not this time. Rebound tough. Panowski. Oh, but he threw it away. Look at Nesby. He filled that lane and just stuck the paw out there and got the turnover. The other way, Cohen tries to go down low. Ball batted away. Uh-oh, Nesby's wide open. He moves. He does not score. Rebound is fought for. Binger couldn't control, and Cairo will have it back. I think Nesby was too open that time.
Well, I think Nesby really was looking to pass the basketball. He went up a little indecision, and instead of going up strong and shoot the pull-up jumper, I think he wanted to dish. Good look there at head coach Bill Chumler in the blue sweater of the Cairo Pilots.
Cohen wide open for 3. Too much. Tip Hughes, no. Tip Nesby. Or was that Williams? One of them got the arm up there. Hey, they say Hughes got it. I saw so many arms up there. It looked like 3 people were tipping it in. Let's see who got that one, Greg Sterick.
Well, Hughes is so strong on the inside. He's a real battler. He's a hard worker. He's not flashy, but he really gets a lot of offensive rebounds, and he's got 6 points here early in the ballgame.
Well, officially they give it to Hughes, so that's the way we'll call it, and we'll call it a 4-point deficit for the young men with the ball. The Dakota Indians from way up north, of course, Cairo from way down south. It take you about 8 hours to get from one town to the other. Binger, turnaround, not enough. Nesby says mine, 17-13.
Well, Binger got a good look there on that shot. It just didn't fall.
Nesby pulls up, 15-footer, in and out. No. Boy, Hughes is everywhere. Hughes back up, and he'll go to the free throw line. Now I know why Coach Bill Chumbler of Cairo calls him his Tasmanian devil, because when the ball goes up on the glass, he is just relentless.
Well, I think he's played very well for this ball club, especially late during the month of February. And all the attention's drawn to Simeon Williams and also Tyrone Nesby, and then there's Hughes all over the offensive glass. And he really works the boards very, very hard for Cairo. And also, he scores about a 13-point per game clip, so it's a pretty good score and rebound.
Simeon Williams checked out, as you saw. James Merriweather will check in now for the Pilots. Dan Geed has checked in for Dakota. And the second one is too much iron, and Panaski has the rebound. You really have to protect the ball against this team because they are aggressive with those long arms no matter where you are on the court.
And that's quickness, too.
Nice pass inside. Geed got it. Well, didn't take long for Mr. Geed to score. 18-50. We told you he was a starter at the beginning of this year. Had a foot fracture, set down, and now he is instant offense off the bench. Speaking of offense, look at that pass to Hughes. Nesby to Hughes. 5-point lead now for Cairo. We have 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Pearson felt somebody behind him, keeps driving. Open on the baseline is Mr. Panaski for two. I'll tell you, Dakota has to hit those shots, and they're doing it.
And they're a good shooting basketball team. They're getting some high percentage shots against that zone defense. They haven't gone against Cairo's pressure man-to-man yet.
Yeah, let's see if the Pilots just want to hang here for one final one. It looks like that will be the case, as Glenn Box will set out front with 18 seconds. And you can count it down with us here on the IHSA television network. A lot more basketball headed your way today. Normal U and Chicago Hales Franciscan will follow this quarterfinal game. Box bothered up front, gets it down low. Merriweather couldn't buy it. Hughes, oh no, he didn't get it. Tipped, no. Boy, I thought Hughes was there again. He is everywhere on the glass. And after one quarter of play, it is Cairo leading Dakota by 3, 20-17. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance. Of course, everybody down Champaign Way and all across the state of Illinois talking about the three-point showdown, Class A and AA. It comes your way next weekend. 4 shooters, of course, in each class competing during the first session. Starts at 11 a.m. and that'll be, I think we'll file that under the entertainment category.
Cairo, a good first quarter, getting the basketball inside. 8 of their points came down low in the paint. Used a very good first quarter with 9 points and 5 rebounds. Field goal percentage 9 of 19 for Cairo, 6 of 13 for Dakota, but they were 3 of 5, speaking of Dakota, from three-point range.
And of course, Cairo had more shots taken because those were offensive rebounds, but shooting just about even. Nesby can shoot from anywhere. Look at this tough shot. Man, he hangs on the baseline, makes it look easy. Cairo up by 5. Almost stolen in the backcourt, but instead Glenn Box will pick up the personal foul. Now that's what you do. You hand it to the referee, right?
Good defense, though, by Cairo. I think Cairo's starting to extend that defense just a little bit with Box and Cohen starting to put a little more pressure on Pierce and also Feeney in the backcourt.
Long jumper out front by Kaufman, not this time. Geed had it, lost it, and we've got a jump ball. Geed and Williams both went up for it, and the arrow points the way of the Dakota Indians. Boy, you work all year long, Greg Sterick, and now it boils down to every precious minute, doesn't it? You don't want to go home now. You're already here.
Yeah, when teams get here, they're not bad. Big steal by Hughes. Looks like they've got a 2-on-1 break.
Hughes pulls up, doesn't get it. Nesby
with the follow.
Oh, the mother of all return slams. 24-17. Nesby followed that play from bucket to bucket. Now that's how you can tell he's a player. He did not stay back on the break. He hustled down there. This crowd is still buzzing. Pearson needs to quiet him. Doesn't. Rebound, Williams. And now you're in that danger zone if you're Dakota, because Cairo's starting to feel it. Driving box. Out front. It's Cohen.
Stayed with the shot nicely. Shoulder squared. Nice arch on the basketball. And Dakota needs a timeout, Jim.
They certainly do, and that is exactly what they'll get. 26-17. Cairo has bolted in front. What a jam by Mr. Nesby. We'll return following these local messages. There you see the results of the first minutes of play here in quarterfinal action at Champaign. Dakota and Cairo. You couldn't be further apart when it comes to location.
All the way from the southern tip to the northern tip.
It's about as far from Dakota to South Dakota as it is from Dakota to Cairo.
Cairo's outscored Dakota 6-0 in the last 128.
Geed with a tough runner. He won't get that one. And Simeon Williams owns the glass. Quickly up ahead. Hughes just off his fingertips. Not a bad idea by Charles Cohen, but a little too high.
Cairo has been led by the inside play of Nesby and also of Hughes. And Nesby's 5 of 8 from the floor and 1 of 1 from the line. So he's got 11 points here early in the ballgame. Averages about 21 per ballgame.
It's got to be tough with Nesby up on there on that full court press. And now another turnover. Williams tipped it, and then Panaski got a finger on it. So another turnover for Dakota. And checking in now will be Marcus Davis. Marcus Davis will check in for Cairo. And Chucky Cohen sets down for the time being.
Cairo with the edge and points off turnovers, 8-0 for Dakota. Still his own defense for Dakota. When Davis is in the ball game, he looks to shoot that three. He's a good shooter from three-point range.
He's hit 50 on the year, trying for the 51st. Not this time. And look who's there, Tyrone Nesby. He came from across the lane to get that rebound. He plays like he's about 6'11", doesn't he?
And he will shoot that three. I mean, he'll shoot that three if they give it to him.
He's over there smiling about it. In the middle, Williams has been quiet offensively. Not this time either. Geed with a strong rebound, and running is Dakota. Oh, another bad pass in the middle, stopped away by Williams, and now at the other end, it's gathered in by Box. We'll set it up for Davis. Good head fake. Nesby fumbled it. He was going to fire it. Now he will anyway. Too much iron. Nesby with a rebound. Back up in.
Great follow that time by Nesby. A shot from behind the arc. The shooter always knows where the basketball is going. A good follow by Nesby. Nesby now with 13 points in the ball game.
And it's real hard to block out that far from the basket if you're the defensive man. A foul underneath the Dakota basket, isn't it? Especially on a guy like Nesby who can give you a head fake and get around you.
Well, it was a long rebound. That's what helped Nesby a little bit there. Went up from behind the arc, and all those rebounds are long. And Nesby a good job really going to get it.
Good look at Marcus Davis, the junior, for Coach Bill Chumler.
Shot by Nesby from behind the arc. See, it comes out hard. Hits the back there, and there's Nesby, 33. Just flies past 3 Dakota defenders. Nice little soft touch inside of finger roll. Count the basket for Tyrone Nesby.
Dan Geet, the junior, for Coach Michael Shallow. Shallow in his 4th year. You talk about rebuilding. Michael Shallow probably gets that nod in this state. The first year he took over 4 years ago, this Dakota team finished 1-22. The next year they won 10. The last 2 years they've won 23 and 27 games. That is a rebuilder. Out front, Davis way up top. Nesby, rebound, Nesby glass. Yes, he'll go to the free throw line. Too much Nesby for Dakota right now.
Not a bad offense either when you've got a guy that shoots it from outside. The shot didn't go, and didn't let Williams and also Nesby crash the boards. You're going to watch Nesby really work on the inside on this play. The shot goes up from outside. Marcus Davis, another rebound for Nesby, 33. Great body control, kiss off the glass. Count the hoop for Nesby.
I don't know how many teams with this kind of height that Dakota has played. Oh, a steal by Nesby!
In the jam.
Oh, man! Everybody is talking about Tyrone Nesby at Assembly Hall right now. They're not talking about anyone else because he has put on a show. 15-point advantage. He has at least 15.
And in the super section, we had 31 points and a state record 22 rebounds.
That's how good he is. Dakota really needs to gather some momentum now. They really need to get a couple of buckets. Look at the defense by Williams. Nesby gets the rebound. They're just shutting off the baseline. There's no way Dakota can get down there. Quickly box. And a rare turnover in this game, at least, for Cairo.
The second quarter has been all Cairo. In the second quarter, Cairo, it's a 13-1 run. And when you saw a look at Bill Chumbler, he's in his 20th year at Cairo, 420 and 159.
Man. Yeah, it's like you said at a press conference yesterday. Hey, they expect me to win 20 a year. I have to. Oh, what a rejection by Williams. Back inside, it's kicked back out again. They are going to have to shoot from beyond the arc. Like that. Kaufman needed it, got it.
Big three right there by Kaufman.
Britton Kaufman, who's a senior, he scored 16 points in the super sectional against Kiwani. Look at Box split the defense underneath the Hughes. That's easy. That's just easy.
Beautiful passing, well executed break. Box with the assist, Hughes with the basket.
And a foul out front on Marcus Davis. Of course, if you're from Cairo or from that southern Illinois vicinity, you know all about the super sectional game last year when Benton trailed Cairo, and Cairo had all those great seniors and were really driven to get to state. Benton made 2 free throws in the final second and sent Coach Bill Chumbler away. He said it was one of his hardest losses to take in his entire career. That's a long career. Free throw not good. Chucky Cohen is back in the ball game. Nesby never left. He missed that one. Got his own rebound. He's toying with people out there. I mean, he's literally playing his own game.
I told you he had the ability to just take over a game and just dominate, and he's done that here in the first half.
Davis is 0 for 3. Rebound came down to Chad Binger. 3 minutes remaining here in the first half. Dakota not out of it yet, but in danger of being so, down by 14. Kaufman drove the baseline. I think that was the intimidation factor. Nice fast break. Hughes can't get it to fall, though. He with the rebound, and here come the Indians. They've got a 3-on-2. Now it's a 3-on-3. Binger, yeah. Chad Binger shows nice form all the way the other way. Hughes against Kaufman, and Kaufman with a good foul. He made sure that Michael Hughes didn't see any glass.
Cairo's so quick, though. They are able to get from defense to offense so quick, and that was the case there. Hughes was on the receiving end of a good pass from Cohen on the play, and Hughes will go to the line. Hughes has had a nice first half, too. He's 5 of 10 from the floor for 11 points. He's at the line to shoot 2.
Glenn Box will check back in, as will Ryan Pearson. Simeon Williams also taking a rest right now. Checking in James Merriweather for Cairo.
Simeon Williams really didn't get into the flow on the offensive end. There wasn't any rhythm for Williams in the first half, and they really didn't have to go to him. They didn't have to use him, so looked a little disgusted there on the bench, maybe a little disgusted from the fact that he wasn't involved on the offensive end, but did the job on the defensive end.
Well, it's hard when you have 2 players of that caliber. Down low, the rebound is blocked away by Cohen, but put back up and in. And it's 37-23. Dakota having troubles. They missed the basket altogether that time, but fortunately Pearson was there to get it. Now Pearson wants a 3. Somebody jumped out after him, but he still nailed it. Well, Glenn Fox tried to get some skin on that ball, but couldn't reject it, and Pearson nailed it.
Now Pearson, a good shooter from behind the arc. 3 threes here in the first half, 3 of 5.
11-point lead for the Pilots. They're daring Nesby to take it. And the dare does not work this time, at least for Nesby. He took the dare, but couldn't get it to fall. He's taken quite a few three-pointers this year. He's not that accurate from beyond the arc. He's better inside. Blocked by Nesby. Kaufman put it up. He thought no one was there. Nesby came flying down from the wing and rejected it. Look at this move by Box. Jeez. Charles Cohen after the delivery from Box, and that's a 3, and that's a 14-point lead for Cairo.
Yeah, so he can shoot the 3. I mean, the guards, when you've got Cohen and Box in there, they're a threat from outside.
Another 3-point attempt, too hard. Rebound, Nesby. Nesby just took it away from Mike Panoski.
Nesby now with 10 rebounds in the ballgame.
Merriweather pulls up. That's going to be too hard. Rebound comes down. Hughes had it for a moment. Now it's headed out of bounds. And they'll give it to the Pilots. See a good look at Mike Shallow. You can tell when the young coaches come down here to Assembly Hall for the first time. It's very serious. Yeah, it's hard to enjoy the environment because you've worked so hard to get here. Cohen won't get that one to fall.
Shallow in only his 4th year at Dakota. 61 and 45 his career there.
Well, we had a tight first quarter as Cairo led by just 3, but now they've put on some defensive clamps, and a timeout is taken as Glenn Box was boxed in underneath the Dakota basket. So he said, we'll take a break. And one of your network sponsors is Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota. As you can see, Cairo up by 14. Here's just one of the reasons.
Well, the shot goes up by Kaufman. Look at the block. Nesby comes from nowhere. The block saved by Merriweather. Comes into the hands of Glenn Box. And here comes Cairo back the other way. They do a good job running the floor. And when big people run the floor, they're rewarded. And that was the case there. A good pass. There's the outside jumper. Nails the 3. Chucky Cohen with the 3 for Cairo.
The only thing Tyrone Nesby has not done well here today is hit the 3. And Dakota is literally daring him to take it, and you can see the inside game has taken its toll on Dakota. Just 2 points down in there against Williams and Nesby, and of course don't forget about Hughes. He's a factor in this game as well.
Yeah, Cairo 20 points on the inside, but here in the second quarter it's been Dakota. You know, they've been out on the perimeter. They're 3 of 12 in the quarter, and Cairo's 9 for 22.
Cairo will just hold here for one final shot.
Nesby with 20 first half points. If you're wondering what the record is for most points in a half, give that to Jay Scheidler of Lawrenceville. He had 31.
Shot is blocked. Box went in there, got it blocked, and a half-court shot will not go. Oh, there's still time left. Oh, a tick of a second left. Kaufman got down there. Pearson let it go just a little too early, but Dakota has a lot to talk about. How do you get over those Twin Towers? That is what they have to contend with. They opened up by hitting some 3-pointers and did a good job of it, but then they had to try to get the ball inside. You can't live by the 3-pointer alone, and every time they did, it was either Williams or Nesby rejecting anything they had to offer up to the glass.
Well, they didn't get any easy shots. They didn't get any. They had to score some points easy. Everything came very, very tough for Dakota in the first half, and Nesby was just tough. Hughes got him off to a great start. When you get all those points on the inside, you shoot for a very high percentage, and Cairo was deadly in the first half. Nesby was just outstanding. He made some marvelous plays, and Cairo's enjoying a 40-26 lead.
Standing by with the coach of the Dakota Indians, who came in here at 27-3, is Joe Passion. Joe?
Hi, thanks very much. Coach, tell us a little bit about what you're going to do about Nesby as well as the rest of this Cairo team.
Well, I think the big thing is we got to keep him off the boards. They're getting too many second and third opportunities. And we got him to take the shot that we wanted initially, but then we're giving him the second and third opportunity. Unless we do a better job of screening out, we're going to be in trouble here second half.
All right, Coach, have a great second half. Thank you very much. And we will be back with more of the Class A quarterfinal opener after this timeout.
And welcome back to the Assembly Hall. Of course, game 1 of the quarterfinals. 3 more yet to go. Following this ball game, Normal University will take on Chicago Hales Franciscan. And on the outset and on paper, it looks like Hales Franciscan should win that game, just as it looks like Dakota should lose this game. But paper is not where the basketball game is played, and don't give up on the Indians yet. But you've got to say one thing, and that is exactly what Coach Mike Shallow said on his way down the tunnel. Man, if we don't stop them from second and third opportunities, this is our last opportunity in this tournament.
Well, Cairo really controlled the backboards on the inside. Nesby, a big first half for Cairo. He's an all-stater. He averages right at 21 points per ball game, and Dakota really didn't have anyone that could match up against Nesby. Nesby had 20 points in the first half, also 10 rebounds. They really went the offensive glass real hard. Cairo wanted an up-tempo ball game. They got that in the first half, and they went to the glass hard. And when you look at what Dakota was able to do, it was all perimeter, Jim.
Exactly.
It was all perimeter. They made 5 threes in the first half, and that was the only thing that really kept them within striking distance of Cairo.
And of course, it was Dakota with 3s in the super sectional against the fine Kewanee team too. They hit 10 there. They may need more than 10 here this afternoon. We'll return to the Assembly Hall following these local messages.
We're at halftime at Assembly Hall, and the Pilots right now way out ahead of the Indians here at the break of our first Class A quarterfinal game. Hello, everyone. Joe Passion back here, and you may not recognize the face, but a lot of Southern Illinois high school basketball fans would certainly recognize the voice of Harry Stout. For 26 years now, been announcing high school and various other sports for WKRO Radio down in Cairo, and this April will be inducted into the Illinois Coaches Hall of Fame in the media wing, and that's quite a tribute for an announcer.
It really is, Joe. I appreciate it. It's an honor that I've never even given any thought of until I was notified that I had made the Hall of Fame this year. I mean, you don't look forward to working your way into the Hall of Fame. It just pops up on you and say, here you are.
Well, I thought your interesting comment off camera was those people that vote, that says a lot right there.
That's right. I really appreciate it because the coaches, the news media, they're the ones that nominate you. They're the ones that vote for you. And when they recognize the work that you've been doing, it really feels good.
Well, you've been covering this very exciting pilot team all year long, and does Nesby ever surprise you anything more?
Well, every once in a while he does, like that shot that he made out there, because he shot from three-point range, got his own rebound, slammed it in. And I mean, how many kids you see shoot from threes to get their own rebound and then slam it home?
Not often, unless Michigan or the Bulls are on TV.
And he's a junior.
Right.
So we're looking forward to next year. Well, we're still looking forward to the rest of this year. We've got to win this game and then come back tomorrow and win a couple more. But I told Coach Chumbler back, not too awful long ago, I said, Coach, I said, you've got Tyrone Nesby, who's named the first team All-State. You've got Simeon Williams, who's All-State honorable mention. I've been nominated to the Hall of Fame. I said, the only thing that we need to top off this year is a state championship. He said, Harry, I'm going to work for it.
Well, congratulations on what's already been accomplished. I know you got a halftime show still to do in radio.
We do.
Thanks very much, Harry. Congratulations on your Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, we will be back with more of our halftime festivities from the Assembly Hall with Cairo out in front of Dakota, 40-26 at the half. At the break of our Class A championship game here in the quarterfinal round, it's Cairo leading over Dakota by 14. Bill Chumbler, pilot head coach, tell us a little bit about what went on in there in halftime.
Well, I tell you, we talked about halftime, you know, trying to maintain our intensity and not let up, and how important the first 3 or 4 minutes were of the third quarter. We can get the first 5 or 6 points. Maybe, you know, we can go in and get a good enough margin, comfortable margin to hold on. But if they get the first 6 or 8, you know, it's going to be a ball game.
Can Nesby play any better?
He's a fine player, I'll tell you that.
Congratulations, Coach, on a good first half. Great, best of luck in the second half.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. And in the meantime, we'll set up the second part of this game over at halftime and at half court is Greg Sterrick and Jim Elber.
Thank you, Joe. Of course, Coach Bill Chumbler has had 8 All-Staters in his 20 years at Cairo, and he says unequivocally that Mr. Nesby, if I can say that word, is by far the best All-Stater he's had. Let's take a look at some of the highlights here in the first half of this first quarterfinal game. You'll see a lot of Mr. Nesby.
Well, some good ball movement there, and the outside shot goes up, and you're going to see Nesby and Hughes work the boards. That time it was Hughes with the offensive stick back. It was a nice play by Hughes on the inside. One more time, box, a nice look. Nesby slips on the baseline, reverse.
So quick.
Basket by Tyrone Nesby one more time.
Look at this one.
Some good ball movement there, a little skip pass, but Hughes is right there with a big steal back the other way. Here comes the break. Hughes goes up with a shot. Who comes inside? Tyrone Nesby one more time with the dunk. Give the dunk to Nesby. Nesby puts the shot up from three-point range. Look at the follow. Here comes Nesby, slips on the baseline by 3 Dakota defenders, and he gets the basket to go one more time. Good ball movement on the outside by Dakota. The shot goes up by Kaufman. They live from three-point range as Kaufman knocks down a big 3 for Dakota.
Let's take a look at the leading scores, brought to you by Milk and the people who produce milk, the dairy farm families of Wisconsin and Illinois. We'll do that after this highlight.
Well, another good play by Carroll. Little spin move that time by Box. There's the dish to Cohen. He spotted up to knock down the 3 from behind the arc. Scoring leaders for Dakota: Pearson with 9, Kaufman with 6, Binger with 4. Then you look at Cairo, a big first half out of Nesby, Hughes, and Cohen. They get 38 of the 40 points on the inside. Those 3 also hooked up to get 18 rebounds. Field goal percentage, 36% for Dakota, 43% for the Pilots of Cairo. Free throws, not a lot of shot, 60% and 50%. Three-point field goals, Cairo 1 of 6. Didn't need to use the 3. 5 of 11 for Dakota, 46%. Look at the rebounds, 28-15 edge for the Pilots. Turnovers, points off, 10-0 for Dakota.
We'll return with the second half following these local messages. Cairo has the lead at half, and they have the ball to kick it off. 40-26. The Pilots, whose hometown is definitely a river town. Not only does the Mississippi River run through there, that's where the Ohio River meets the Mississippi.
I think it's safe to say it's a basketball town, too.
You got it. Williams.
Ooh, Williams responds. First basket for Cairo in the second half. His first basket of the ball game.
Well, you heard Coach Bill Chumbler say we'd like to score the first 5-6 points and put it in cruise control. They've got 2. Down low, Binger needs this basket and gets it. Chad Binger, the captain, one of the captains, along with Ryan Pearson of the Dakota Indians. Same starting 5 for both teams. Nesby will try for his first 3 of the afternoon. And now he has one of those as well. Give him 23 in just about 17 minutes of play.
Well, Cairo very aggressive out of that defense. The intensity.
Kaufman not going to be there. Nice tip out, though, by Chad Binger, who got the job done and recranked up the offense for Kaufman, who misses again. Good screen out. Nesby making Williams, lost it. That is not over and back. Pearson, 2-on-1, takes it himself.
Nice pull-up jumper that time by Pearson.
That was good screening out on the boards, but the ball bounded out so far, nobody had it. Then Williams bounced out. Nesby can't get this one to fall. Williams is fouled from behind as Kaufman got too much of Williams, or are they going to say it was Williams with a foul? Well, Williams is going to pick up the personal. That's 3 on him.
Well, you see right there, Williams over the back of Kaufman. So the personal fouls on Simeon Williams. His 3rd personal foul.
Well, if Dakota's going to do it, they're going to have to do it right now. Inside Binger. Partially blocked, I believe, by Williams. Here comes Nesby on the run. Look at him control the basketball. Nice pass to Williams. Not going to fall, though, for Williams, who was at point-blank range but couldn't get the spin.
Well, Nesby at 6'7", leading the break for Cairo.
Kaufman passes it underneath. It's slapped away. And Williams will bring it up. Cairo. They're daring Nesby to take the 3 again. It's a set shot. That's not really his shot. He's better on the move. Kaufman had a man open but couldn't spot him. Of course, good transition defense there by Cairo. They hustle. They get down from one end to the other in a hurry. There's Coach Mike Shallow in his 4th year. Brought 61 wins down to the hall. Binger, no. And why? Because Williams was there. Williams changed the direction of that shot, but he also stepped on the end line trying to get the rebound.
Now, with Williams and Nesby both on the inside at 6'7", Dakota just has some problems when they go inside. I like Binger out on the floor when he can turn and face. He and Pearson, 2 starters back from last year's ball club.
Steal by Williams. He controls it. Gets it up ahead quickly. And Cohen will find Nesby. Nesby won against everybody, and he is fouled out front. You know, they thought by that I mean those Cairo fans down there, and they are fanatical in Southern Illinois, believe me. They thought it might be a problem if Simeon Williams joined this team, because then there would be 2 big men, 2 scorers, but according to Tyrone Nesby, there was no problem at all. To quote Nesby, I don't care how many I score, I just want to win. And you can ditto that for Williams, but Williams did say there was a transition coming from Meridian as far as his personal life. You know, you leave all your friends. But winning takes care of a lot of that.
Yeah, I think really Cairo, really the chemistry of the ball club, they really put all the pieces together about the middle of February. And they've really played very, very well down the stretch, and that's when you're supposed to play well when it comes time, when tournament time rolls around.
1 of 2 for Mr. Nesby. And it's hard to catch up when you're being harassed all day long, and that's exactly what this defense is doing to Dakota. Binger, baseline, too much iron. Who's there? Michael Hughes. And now suddenly we've got a fast break opportunity. Box all the way down. Nesby forced out along the baseline, and we'll have a whistle and a foul. It looked like it went against Mark Feeney.
Well, Carroll's guards deserve a little more credit and probably what they've gotten this year because of the outstanding play of Nesby and also Hughes and Williams on the inside. But the way Box and Cohen run the ball club, they really do a good job pushing the ball up the floor. Cohen averages 9 a game and 7 for Box. Well, there he is, knocks down the jumper.
Easy enough. 48-30, biggest lead of the game now for Cairo. And if this keeps up, of course, they will play the winner of the Normal University Chicago Hales-Franciscan game. Arms everywhere on the defense. Slap it out of bounds, slap it away, change the direction of the pass. Let's go back to the outset of this game. We told you about the car X factors and what Dakota would need to do. They have not done either of those things, really.
Well, they need to knock down some threes. The rebounding, they haven't done the job on the glass. Cairo, it's been an up-tempo ball game, and inside scoring, it's been just that for Cairo here in the basketball game.
Still plenty of time left as we take a look at the points in the paint right now. 22-2. Man. 22-2. The numbers tell the story here. One of your network sponsors is ICI Seeds. Don't forget that Class A and AA three-point showdown next weekend. 4 shooters in each class competing during the first session starting 11 a.m. And that's a good idea because even the kids who didn't get a chance to make it to state with the team get to come down here and feel the atmosphere at Assembly Hall. I mean, it's got to be a thrill for these kids. Just 2 nights ago, they were watching Illinois almost beat Michigan on this very same floor, and now they're making some basketball history of their own. You know, Greg Sturrock, when you're tall and you're quick and you can press, you are going to take your toll on the opposition, and that is exactly what is happening here this afternoon. Over the back, Mike Panoski, and Panoski was a devil on the boards in the super sectional game against Kewanee, but he just can't get enough space in there.
Now the shot goes up by Pearson. The shot was missed by Pearson from the outside. Dakota 2 of 8 this quarter, and then once again Carroll all over the backboards. Good inside position, good board work by Michael Hughes.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Michael Hughes. Everybody's looking, of course, at Nesby and Williams, but they've got some other players on this team. Hughes will miss this one. Nesby jumping up and playing volleyball with it and grabbing the rebound. Pass quickly. Over it goes to Cohen.
Nesby, a good job spotting the open man.
Yeah, Chucky Cohen. I'll tell you what, these 2 guards get a lot of open shots. They certainly do, because the defense is all laying back for the big men. Binger will drive and get it to fall. Will it count? Tough shot by Chad Binger, who cuts that 20-point lead down to 18. And it may not help in the outset, or at the outcome, but this individually a great move here.
Well, it's the first time we've really seen Dakota attack, be the aggressor, and take it strong to the glass. Binger put it on the floor, shows his quickness with the first step, got it up on the window, and it was a nice 2-pointer by Chad Binger, one of the captains of the ball club.
And Williams, as you see, heading for the bench with Coach Bill Chumler because he picked up his 4th personal foul. Well, if there's a good to be found in that situation, it's that you've got an 18-point lead with your big man going to the bench with 4 fouls. Nesby inside the 3-point range. Look at Hughes tip it around. Hughes gets it back. Fade away. No. Nesby tipping it. Nesby goes back baseline off the glass, and that is how it's done in the level of basketball he plays at.
I say it was just a strong move, able to keep the basketball alive, and then he was quick to the hoop and got the 2-pointer.
And now a bad pass picked up by Hughes. He'll spin out of trouble and wait for help from Glenn Box. Box. Those guards can just take those shots all day. That one's a little short, however, by Chucky Cohen. And Pearson will get it over quickly to Kaufman, who stops and pops for 3.
Dakota Ball Club, they're good spot-up shooters. Carroll's got to find the shooters.
Well, the ball got away that time from Box, and now Ryan Pearson will go 1 against everybody. He'll be called for a trip to the free throw line because they say that Chucky Cohen did not have his feet planted.
Good drive by Pearson. He's a left-hander. He goes left most of the time, and there was a lean-in right there as the defensive man initiated the contact instead of the offensive player. He got the personal foul, and the foul was on Cohen. Look.
Coming in is number 20, as you can see Marcus Davis there substituting.
Pearson, their leading scorer now, and he's leading Baptist Dakota Ball Club down scoring with 11 points.
Dan Geed, number 24, checking back in for that man, Coach Michael Shallow. Of course, Dakota, we call it Dakota, but it's actually 3 towns put together: Dakota, Rock City, and Davis. So everybody from those 3 towns, which number about 1,424 in terms of population.
That's 13 points for Pearson, but he's also done a pretty good job running the show for his ball club. He's the floor leader. He also has 5 assists here in the ballgame.
Well, Dakota now has a little window of opportunity. They're down by 15. Williams, the big man for Cairo, is out. And so if you're going to cut it to 10, this would be the time. And if you're going to get into the ball game, you basically want to cut it to 10 before the 4th quarter commences.
Yeah, but you have to like the timeout. But Bill, coach of Cairo, he's a veteran coach. He had his ball club here in 1981. They finished 3rd. I think he felt a little run by Dakota. It felt like maybe his ball club was getting a little complacent, not only on the offensive end, but on the defensive end. And that's where you need to keep that level of intensity, Jim, is on that defensive end. So I like the timeout by Bill Chumble.
Let's go courtside. Joe Passion is roaming Assembly Hall, as he always does. Joe?
Well, we always know how intense the coaches are, like Mike Shallow is here in the huddle right out in front of us in Dakota. But his wife, Dawn, is a little bit more loose upstairs with their new 19-month-old baby, Jacob. When does the coach lighten up, though, Dawn?
Whenever he gets home, like from practice or something with basketball, he comes home and him and Michael shoot around. He has a Michael Jordan Jr. jammer, and they shoot baskets and play basketball, if you can believe that, when he comes home to kind of unwind and do things like that.
And when is it when you give him the haircuts?
Usually 1 or 2 days before a game. He always has to have his tourney trimmed, so.
Well, you do a great job on it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. And back over to a couple of guys that could probably use a haircut pretty soon, Greg and Jim.
Yeah, but Joe, what I want to know is, does Mike Shallow change diapers? I mean, you can get a team to stay, but to correctly change a diaper is a hard thing to do. I tell you, this guy is not going anywhere right now. He's still got 11 minutes left to go. Let's drop in on this conversation in the huddle of Dakota. Michael Shallow may call that his tourney trim. I remember it as my boot camp trim. You know, those days far behind. This day, a big day for 8 teams in the state of Illinois, and of course across the state, a lot of Class AA teams playing in sectional championships tonight. So basketball is the topic in this state.
Let's see if they don't try to get the basketball inside to Nesby after the timeout. Nesby doesn't want to play inside, though. I think he wants to play out on the perimeter.
Well, he has such great skills. He can penetrate. A man 6'7" penetrating is unusual at this level of basketball, but he is one who can do it.
Now, see, Cairo's just spreading the floor. They're running a little time here. Want to bring Dakota out of that zone defense, and I think they're going to be content just to show some patience, regain their composure, and be patient on the offensive end. Run some clock.
They had a 20-point lead, cut to 15 moments ago by Dakota. Cohen just wide open out there. 22-point lead, the biggest. They went down low, but they couldn't get it to fall. Rebound, heads out of bounds, and it still belongs to Cairo. Well, Hughes had it down low, but just couldn't quite get it where he wanted it off that backboard.
Well, Cairo with the edge on the glass, 36-21.
Man, that's monumental. And it's not because Dakota's necessarily out of position. It's because sometimes you cannot. Ooh, 3-second lane violation. So Dakota gets that turnover they wanted. Bill Chumler not happy about that call at all. Not so much the call, but his own team.
Yeah, but they ran some clock. They ran about 2 minutes off the clock.
Quickly down, and that's the way things are going for Dakota today. They had a fast break opportunity, and Britton Kaufman filled the lane over on the right side, but it was already filled. It went off his back and out of bounds.
Well, Dakota's still got to look to shoot the 3, but they've still got to do the job on the boards. They got to keep Cairo off the glass.
Nesby low to Hughes, and Hughes for some reason didn't get it down. I think Hughes went up a little too strong. Instead of laying it off the glass, he went up there with muscle in mind, and that cost him because he now picked up the personal foul as well. He should have made this.
Oh, a nice no-look pass, though, by Nesby. He's an excellent passer. Hughes was right there. The pass was there. Hughes just couldn't finish the play.
Now he got too much rim going up. Trying to cut it to 13, the Indians. Gee, no. Look at Hughes get up. They needed that bucket. And the ball almost stolen, but Nesby somehow gets it back. And now he'll be fouled from behind. That's another thing that Nesby can do. Take a potential turnover for Cairo and keep it.
He just got that done on just outstanding athletic ability. Michael Hughes really had an outstanding ball game. Look at his numbers. He's got 11 points, but he's also got 11 rebounds. He's picked up the scoring slack because Simeon Williams has only got 2 points in the ball game.
Nesby surveys the situation, and when you're 6'7" and you can play out front, believe me, you can survey anything you want. Minute 30 remaining. Here is Davis from the outside. No. Rebound fought for, and on the back is James Merriweather. James Merriweather will pick up the personal foul, and Dakota will get their hands back on it again with a chance to cut it to either 13 or 12. That's the way three-point basketball teams are, though. They're like prairie fires, Greg. I mean, you hit one, and suddenly you got 4, and suddenly the game's down to about 5 points, and now we have a 5-second violation, and that'll kill you. That'll kill you if you're Dakota, because you had the ball back, but you never get an opportunity at the other end. Mark Feeney will check in now for Dakota, and Pearson will come out. This is not one of Ryan Pearson's better games. He has been one of the main reasons why they made it all the way down, and that's another one of the reasons why these games are so exciting. Everything doesn't go the way it's supposed to. Merriweather has it blocked out of there by Chad Binger, and up they come quickly. Feeney didn't find an opportunity. He'll wait for Kaufman. Now they go to Binger. Turnaround, needs it, got it, and it's 52-39.
Binger's a nice player inside. Good soft touch. Nice move that time to get the short perimeter jumper.
Cohen and Davis will play with it with 1 minute remaining here in the third quarter.
So Binger can move out on the perimeter. He can take you down low. He can either play facing or with his back to the glass.
I like his turnaround shot. He posts up, nice straight, gets the arm straight up as high as they can go. Now they go high post for a moment. I think they'll just melt away this clock. And you think they'll look for Nesby in the final 10 seconds, by chance?
I think he would probably touch the basketball. I would hope he would.
Davis and Box just content on playing with it outside. Oh, they lose the basketball. Cohen lost the basketball. And with 20 seconds remaining, who knows how close it can be. Geed from the corner, got it. It's a 10-point ball game. They were down by 22 about 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, 12 straight points for Dakota.
And a foul at the other end. No, traveling. Merriweather took a step, and we've got 5.6 seconds remaining. Oh, if they could hit a shot here, Dakota would be in heaven. 2 seconds, 1 second. Kaufman, three-pointer. No. Oh. Well, Dakota has made things a little bit more interesting, but Williams will check in when the fourth quarter begins. It's 52-42. Cairo with the lead will return following these local messages. Toyota game summary brought to you by Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Well, when you look what Dakota's done, 15 of 39 from field, 39%, 12-0 scoring run, 15 turnovers. Cairo, 22 compared to only 8 points for Dakota. Points in the paint. Nesby, 26 points and 13 rebounds. But the story right now is the run by Dakota. They're on a 12-0 run. Cairo led 52-30, and maybe they start doing a little clock watching instead of playing.
And they open up this quarter with the basketball. Kaufman, who Geed had an open shot for a moment, but good defense, and now the ball almost gets away. You can bet the intensity of that Cairo defense is cranked back up. Inside, it's Panowski, who couldn't get it to fall. Big miss. Here comes Box the other way, and he'll slow it down. Wait for Cohen, his running mate. Both big men back in there for Cairo. Simeon Williams at 6'7", and Tyrone Nesby at 6'7". An all-stater and an honorable mention. Nesby. I bet Nesby won't be taking any more three-pointers in this quarter, but he will take an 18-footer and get it. Big shot by Tyrone Nesby. They're all big down here. 12-point lead now for Cairo. Dakota working against the pressure. Good pick up front by Binger. Here's Panoski again, in and out. No good, tip no good, tipped around and brought back down by Binger, who gets it right back into Panoski, and he is fouled, making Geed with the basketball.
Binger, a good job keeping the basketball alive inside. He got a little slap up, got a tip at it, then there's the pass inside. A good look on the inside, and Geed was fouled on the play. He's a good free throw shooter. On the year, he shoots them at a 72% clip, Jim.
Number 24, Dan Geed is at the line to shoot.
Dan Geed, only a junior. And he makes Greg Sterick look like he studied last night. 6:52, a lot of time remaining in this quarterfinal game. We're down to 10 points again. 10 may not seem close unless you were down by 22 moments ago. Then it's closer. Inside to Williams. That's tough to stop. Nice shot, Simeon Williams.
He really hadn't touched the basketball much. He's been in foul problems. He's a good offensive player.
Foul by Glenn Box, who was trying to pinch. But Mark Feeney a little too quick for the pinch at midcourt. And right now you can't trade baskets either, but you got to keep answering.
A Box now with 3 personal fouls. And look at Glenn Box, one of the captains of the ball club, a 5'10" senior.
And interestingly enough, Dakota is doing this without their leading scorer in the game. Ryan Pearson, who came in averaging 19 and had 26 against Kiwani in Super Sectional, has not had a good game, but his teammates have picked up the slack, and 4 free throws in a row by the Indians, make it a 10-point game again.
Yeah, they're now 9 of 12 from the line, so that's a story in itself. That's what's got them back in the ballgame. They're back to within 10.
They'll dare Nesby to take it. He'll answer their dare. 58-46. That's 3 buckets in a row now for Cairo. 3 trips down, 3 successful trips. Kaufman for 3. Yeah, he got it. It's a 9-point ball game. 58-49. How do you stop Cairo, though? They have so much, like Nesby. Too hard. Rebound. Nesby tipped it out of bounds, and it will belong to the Indians. I think if you're Cairo right now, you just want to take the time, give it to Nesby, and kick it into Williams.
Yeah, I think you got to keep playing, though. You can't start watching the clock. I think Cairo started watching the clock in the 3rd quarter after timeout by Coach Bill Chumbo, and they forgot to play. They were the aggressor early in the ball game.
We've got a 3-on-2 situation. Panoski knocks it down. Mike Panoski makes it a 7-point ball game. 5:43 remaining. Man, this one looked like it was over. It's anything but. Williams, 12-footer. Good. Man, that's a big shot. He looks so calm and collected when he takes it. Another break. 2-on-1. Geed. Nice pass. Panoski blocked out of bounds by Nesby. Hello. Oh, man.
Looked like an easy, simple 2-on-1 break. Nesby was there to swat it away. Watch Dakota. They're coming down here. It's a well-executed break. Geed with the pass right there. The nice dish right there on the inside. Panoski. But look at Nesby. Comes up with the big block for Nesby.
60-51. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance. Welcome back to Assembly Hall, where everything you put up does not necessarily go to the basket.
Well, the shot right there goes up, but it also gets out of there too as Tyrone Nesby comes in with the big block. But Dakota, what a comeback. They've come back from a 22-point deficit. Now they're trailing by 9. They got as close as 7, and it's their basketball.
That was a really clutch basket by Simeon Williams. Inside it goes, and to the line will go Chad Binger.
That's 5 personal fouls if it's going to go on Simeon Williams.
I'm just checking to see what the signal is. That's 5, and that's big. That is big. Simeon Williams, who just buried the important bucket at the other end, has 5 fouls. And don't forget, this comeback started without Williams in the game.
But he's also not going to have 2 big baskets out of the last 4 possessions for Cairo, too.
I'm looking over at Coach Michael Shallow, the coach of the Dakota Indians, and sitting right next to him is Ryan Pearson. And these are the things you can't describe about a basketball game. When the man who leads his team down here is sitting on the pine with his coach because his game is just not helping his team today, that's hard to take. Binger misses the first free throw. That's hard to take, too, when you're trying to catch up. I bet he nails this one.
Such a good shooter from the outside, but only 53% from the line. Knocks that one down.
1 of 2, 8-point ball game. Plenty of time left, over 5 minutes. Nesby can break the press, and he does, with the help of Glenn Box. See if Cairo's still in attack mode. Box double team, that leaves Cohen open, but he doesn't have a shot.
Now Dakota much more aggressive though out of that defense, much more aggressive.
Long jumper, Cohen, short. Rebound, Dakota. Binger was there. That's the kind of rebound they need, because the shot just hit the rim and went down instead of bouncing out, where Nesby could roam and pick up another offensive rebound. Gee, baseline, down low, Panaske. Well, Geach set that up with the drive and then the penetration pass, and this is as close as Dakota has been since the first quarter. It's a 6-point game. Nesby off the glass, too hard. Rebound underneath Merriweather. No, Nesby, yes! But I'll tell you what, credit James Merriweather. He kept it alive and got it back to the other side.
But they got 3 opportunities that, they just played volleyball with it on the inside until Nesby could get it in the hole.
Panaske, 12-footer, in and out. Binger had it, lost it. Rebound is fought for and won by Chucky Cohen. And now a blocking foul on Feeney. He tried to get over there and draw the charge, but Glenn Box, a little too quick for him. As we alluded to earlier, don't forget about that 3-point showdown. It's coming your way next weekend, right here at Assembly Hall. Who will rule from the outside? Checking in, the man we've been talking about, Ryan Pearson. If ever they needed him, they need him now. Merriweather didn't want the shot. He was wide open, but that's not his range. Cohen and Box looking for somebody inside, but the ball gets away. Nesby apparently not thinking it was coming that way or breaking the other way along the baseline, and that's an opportunity for Dakota to cut it to 6 or 5 with a 3, and Pearson's in the game. Right with the basketball, number 23. Hoffman driving. This is going to be a tough shot. He didn't get it to fall, and Merriweather had the rebound.
Now they got the good ball movement. They got the penetration. When Hoffman got the penetration, that was a good time to give the little kick out to Pearson behind the arc to shoot that 3.
And now time. Not an ally for Dakota. 3:20 remaining in the ball game. Now they go inside. Merriweather just kick it back out. He almost got away again. Ball's loose on the floor. Now they get it inside to Merriweather. Returns, that's Hughes' correction. Merriweather missed the shot. He had it blocked and rejected.
I think Binger got another block on the play.
Man, Binger can play some D as well. Got to get a bucket if you're Dakota right now. Not too many opportunities left. They've made a gallant comeback, but can they come all the way back? Hoffman with a good head fake. Over in the corner is Gee. In and out. No. Rebound, Michael Hughes. He's got about 13 of those today. He is tough. Nice pass underneath to Merriweather. Give a good assist to Chucky Cohen. And that might break it. That's a 10-point lead again.
Yeah, nice look. They just executed the break well. Once again, when you run the floor, you're rewarded. That was the case right there by Merriweather and Carroll.
Panaske down low. Can't get it to fall. And now Dakota may have run out of steam. They foul in the backcourt as Glenn Box is the recipient of that personal foul. What really killed him is when they cut it down to 6 and then 3 opportunities at the other end for Cairo. But that's how they got here, man. They get offensive glass. They depend on it. Cohen in a hurry. Nesby will just wait. He doesn't want that 3. You can bet on that. Down to 2 minutes. Final 2 minutes, and a blocking foul by Gee. Dan Gee. If you went out there and asked Dakota right now, Coach, you think you're going to lose 2 minutes? They're not even thinking about it. They won't start thinking about that until there's like 10 seconds left.
But they expended a lot of effort.
Yeah, that sure is.
6.
Sure it is.
Expended lots of effort.
And Nesby gets the kind roll.
It's nice to have a go-to guy on the floor when you have a kind of somewhat of an idea where you know your next point's going to come from. When you've got Nesby out there, he's an all-state player. 34 points for Nesby.
It's an afternoon's load, I'll tell you that. Ball is thrown away. Coming up from behind the back is Chucky Cohen. Will he wait for anybody? Yeah, give it to Merriweather, who drains it. And that will do it for this ball game. James Merriweather makes it a 14-point lead again, and Cairo has withstood the charge. Inside it goes, and Binger will go to the free throw line. Just too much Nesby early. That's basically what it boiled down to.
Now Cairo's on an 8-0 run. Pearson, though, on the dribble drive, slips on the baseline. A nice look, nice dish. Binger strong to the hole. He was fouled on the play, but Cairo, an 8-0 run, and Cairo has now extended their lead back to 14. Got to within 6 at 60-54, but now it's Cairo on that 8-0 run, Jim.
Dakota, only the second time they've made it down here to the Elite Eight. Last time, 1978, they lost in the quarterfinals then to Effingham. So as far as hardware is concerned, it looks like they will be turned away again, but we'll never turn away Joe Passion, who is on the floor. Where are you at, Joe?
Well, I'm down here with Jack Donkers, the principal at Cairo High School, and you know, everyone has seen Tyrone Nesby here. We all know he can play ball. What's the kid like off the floor, Jack?
He's a great kid. He well liked by the students, enjoys life, behaves himself well in school, and super all-around person.
I hear he practices a lot of hours. All this talent isn't just God-given.
No, I tell you, he does practice, but there's a lot of God-given talent there, too. He works hard.
Any hobbies that really keep him busy off the court beside basketball?
Unless it's practicing basketball.
It seems like that is his whole life. Is anyone surprised with the way he plays out here? He just keeps doing more spectacular things every game. What's he like around the community of Cairo?
Very good. He participates in school activities. Again, I said he's well liked by students and adults alike.
All right, Jack, thank you very much. And we're going to send it back over to center court to Jim and Greg.
Thank you very much, Joe. And now let's take a look at our player of the game, brought to you by Milk. Enjoy real dairy products. Look for the real seal in your grocer's dairy case. Hello, Tyrone.
Yeah, it shouldn't be any secret who this player of the game is going to be. It's Tyrone Nesby, 34 points, 14 boards, and he's 14 of 25 from the floor. So it's been a good ball game for Tyrone Nesby. We're down to 142 in the ball game, and it's Cairo on top by 14. It's 68-54.
Well, the smallest school in this Elite Eight field will be the first to fall here. 249 students in Dakota. As I said, it's made up of 3 towns, Dakota, Rock City, and Davis, as you look at Michael Shallow. And he will be deeply disappointed. He didn't come down here to lose, even though he had to play Nesby and Williams and company.
Well, he's done a good job building the program. His first year in there, he was only 1 in 22, and this is his 4th year. Look where they are.
That's right. And a foul out front as Kaufman gets a piece of Glenn Box. I'll say one thing for the Indians, they made it interesting. They were down by 22 and came almost all the way back, but just couldn't get over that hump. And as you said, Greg, once you get behind by that far, you expend so much energy trying to come back, and we're not talking about a deep bench over there either. So that will be the tall tale factor in this game. Box, the senior. And you got to like these guards. You got to like these guards for Cairo. You got more to contend with than the front line, that's for sure.
Yeah, Cairo's got a balanced attack with the 2 guards and Williams, and there's Pearson from long range, and really hadn't found his stroke in today's basketball game. For Pearson, he's now 3 of 8 from 3-point territory, but he does have 13 points to lead Dakota in scoring.
And Nesby, I believe you said, had 14 rebounds. That would be 15, and that would be 37 in the last 2 games. Lord. There you see the Dakota Indians.
That pretty well tells the story, doesn't it?
But the one thing I found out about covering basketball in this tournament, yes, you are disappointed, but after a while, youth is always resilient. By tomorrow, they'll be back to their old selves, and they'll say, hey, we gave it a shot. Yeah, I'm disappointed, but come on, life is to live. It's not to mope around. And that's the great thing about this game. Long jump shot out front won't go by Kaufman. Pearson won't get it to fall. Nesby has himself another rebound. if they classify it as that. The ball was tipped out, but a 16-point lead now for Cairo with 1:04 remaining. Coming up next, Dick Ludke will join Greg Sterick on the IHSA television microphones, and we'll bring you Normal University against Chicago Hales Franciscan. Of course, tonight, another 2 games as session number 2 commences with Staunton and Riverton. That'll be followed by Mendota and one of the biggest front lines you will ever see, folks. Not in terms of height, but in beef. Hamilton, 28-2. They can throw 2 forwards and a center at you that weigh in collectively at about 700 pounds. And there you see some of the emotion that goes on here at Assembly Hall. I was talking to a Pinckneyville fan before the game, and he was recollecting when Pinckneyville lost the state championship game, and his son was about 6 years old, and it took them an hour after the championship game to get their son out of Assembly Hall because he was crying so hard. He was rooting so hard for his team to win.
Well, this second half's just been a game of spurts and runs for both these ball clubs. It got back to then 6. Now it's a 12-0 run for Cairo.
Yeah, Pearson just having a terrible day. He's only 4 of 11 from the outside, 3 of 9 from the 3-point range. So he's just not. He was one of the men that they had to count on today. And hey, I mean, you know, some days it's there and some days it's not. And when you've got people like Nesby jumping out at you to bother your jump shot, it changes things.
Well, Nesby just has that ability just to dominate a basketball game. He can pretty well take over a game, and I think we saw Tyrone Nesby do just that, especially in the first half. It's been a big ball game for Nesby with 36 points.
And now Jeremy Casper will check in. We'll try to check all these substitutes for you. Rob Parkinson checking in. Also Steve Hennefeld checking in, wearing number 12. These all substitutes for Dakota. Joe Shoemaker is also in there, number 33. And it looks like Chad Weber. I can't get an angle on his number yet, but it looks like Chad Weber also in there for Dakota. Now, Tyrone Nesby. His coach calls him, quote, a fine basketball player. That may be the understatement of this day. The free throw is up and in by Glenn Box.
Now Nesby checks out with 36 points and 17 rebounds, and Michael Hughes had 11 points in the ball game.
And about 13 rebounds, probably. So that factor in, and the fact that when you look at the overall rebounding statistics, you'll see that the game in the paint was not about to go Dakota's way today. For Dakota, with the basketball, that was Rob Parkinson. Parkinson trying to scramble after it. The ball falls out of bounds, and then Parkinson is slammed in the head for his efforts. Also in the ball game now for Cairo is Terrace Purchase, wearing number 40. And Marcus Davis in there, number 20. Number 35 is Andre Williams. Give all these kids their just due. Along the baseline, that one will not fall for Steve Hennefeld, but Hennefeld gets it right back. Parkinson trying to get in the books. Good head fake. Along the baseline it goes. Shoemaker won't get it to fall. Parkinson's all over the place. He'll take the shot, but he won't get it to fall. Ball headed out of bounds. 15 seconds remaining in this one. Also in the ball game for Cairo is Larry Johnson, wearing number 22.
Rich Hoffmaster is going to check in also for Dakota. Dakota Ball Club is going to finish 27-4 on the year. They were 27-3 coming in. I think the 3 games they lost were by a total of 4 points.
Yeah.
So a tremendous year, and congratulations to Dakota Indians on a great year.
Out front with a basketball. Davis won't get it to fall. Rebounding it is Rick Hoffmaster. That ball's knocked out of bounds. We'll come the other way for the final 3 seconds.
Well, Bill Chumbler, a happy Bill Chumbler.
And that's the way this one will come to a close. Cairo took a 22-point lead, saw it dissolve to around 6, and then wins it by 20. 74-54 is our final in game 1 of the quarterfinals. 74-54. We'll be looking for Coach Bill Chumbler. He's got one of those great down South Illinois atmospheres. And as far as this conversation is concerned, before the game, when they won the Super Sectional, somebody came up to him and said, Dakota won. And he said, which one, North Dakota or South Dakota? He's got a good sense of humor about it. And he's heading Joe Passion's way momentarily. We'll get his comments, along with Tyrone Nesby, who was standing by. As you can see, Joe Passion getting set to talk to the victorious Cairo Pilots. Joe, it's all yours, sir.
Well, you've got victorious is the main word here. Bill told me before the game you were just happy to be here. How happy are you now?
Well, we're happy to be in the Final Four.
You know, that's a great game when you're getting maybe one of your big players like Williams not having a great game, but Nesby came through, and so did some other kids for you.
Yeah, I thought it was really a team effort defensive-wise. Tyrone had a great ball game, but the other kids played hard on defense also.
Well, Tyrone, I think if people came into the assembly hall today not knowing who you are, I think they're all talking about you during the break in between games today. Was this a big thrill for you? Does it challenge you to play that much higher?
Oh, yeah, it was all right, they came back with a good, try to come back on us. And everybody started realizing that, we couldn't lose the game because we won first. Cairo ain't never had first, so, we're going for it.
Will you then be the guy to lead? I mean, who will be the guys who sit in the locker room, Bill, and say, okay, we just barely got that one, even though the score relates to 20-point difference? Who takes charge among the players?
Well, we've got two senior leader guards in boxing and going to carry us. So.
All right, you guys have a great game. We'll see you. All right, thank you, Tyrone. All right. As you can see, this kid is already pumped sky high after a sky-high performance, 36 points for Tyrone Nesby as he leads Cairo to this Class A quarterfinal win, 74-54. Back now over to Greg and Jim.
Boy, that was $1 million smile on the coach, Bill Chumler, wasn't it? And, of course, Tyrone Nesby happy to be into the Final Four. And remember, folks, this team, along with Tyrone Nesby last year, he's the only returning starter from Cairo. They had a lot of seniors last year. They thought they were going to be down here at the Elite Eight and maybe take it all, only to lose in the heartbreaker to Benton in the Super Sectional. And they want their just due, and the way they played this game against Dakota, they might just get it, but there's other teams standing in the way.
Well, they were definitely disappointed last year when the Benton Rangers advanced up here to the Elite Eight, but this Cairo basketball team, it's a team that's led by Tyrone Nesby. Had a big ball game with 36 points, but I really like the comment by Coach Chumler. Felt like that his defense is what triggered the victory. Simeon Williams didn't get a lot done on the inside, but he was there defensively, and the other two players that don't get a lot of credit on the Cairo basketball team, it's the backcourt of Chucky Cohen and also Glenn Box. They're the setup people. They're the floor leaders, and as Coach Chumler indicated, it's up to those seniors, the veterans, to get his basketball team ready to play. So Cairo is much more than just a team of Tyrone Nesby. It's a very balanced basketball team, and they had a nice ball game here, and they built that lead to, 22 points, and then Dakota. Give them some credit. Fought back, really fought back, got back to within 6, and then it was Cairo down the stretch that put Dakota away pretty easily.
And don't forget, if Williams and Nesby don't get you, the Tasmanian Devil will. That would be Mr. Hughes. He is something under those boards as well. Our congratulations to Dakota for a fine season. But as we go to our play of the game, would you by chance think that Tyrone Nesby just might be involved?
Well, I think Nesby might be involved, but I think they also got some outstanding play from the outside, and you're going to watch on the play. Nesby went for the block. A great save by Merriweather, gets the basketball right in the hands of Box. See how Box is coming down the floor? Look, he gets his head up. He's looking for either somebody taking it strong to the glass. He spins, he looks. Who does he find? His running mate in the backcourt. Chucky Cohen from outside, stays with it. A picture-perfect jumper. You can count that one, Jim. It's Cohen with the three-point bomb.
Yeah, I see that little kid up there at about row 7. He knew it was good as soon as it was gone. Play of the game brought to you by American Airlines and American Eagle. Something special in the air. We'll continue from Assembly Hall. Game 2 of the quarterfinals getting set to come your way. We'll return following these local messages. It's time for our scoring summary, brought to you by Milk and the people who produce milk, the dairy farm families of Wisconsin and Illinois. The stats will be so positive for Cairo.
Well, Cairo with the edge. They shoot 42%, only 32% from Dakota. Then you look at the free throws. Cairo 12 of 17. Three-point field goals. Cairo only 2 of 11, 8 of 22 for Dakota. Rebounds. Look at the edge. Cairo gets 51 rebounds, only 34 for Dakota. Turnovers, 16 for Dakota. And Cairo, they coughed it up 11 times.
It's hard telling exactly what kind of rebounding records as far as the Sweet 16 that Tyrone Nesby can set, but he's on his way. 22 rebounds in the super sectional, at least 16 here in the quarterfinals, and he and his entire team will be one of the teams to watch as we move into tomorrow. But of course, we still have a lot of basketball action headed your way from the Assembly Hall. Normal University and Hales Franciscan. Who will take on Cairo? Well, Dick Lutke and Greg Sterick will be back shortly to tell you just how that one will shape up. For now, this is Jim Albrecht bidding you bye until this evening, but don't go away. A lot more basketball coming up on the IHSA television network. One of your network sponsors is DuPont.